Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh. Oh. Yeah. Hello, welcome to my channel. I realized I've never had a sit down with you guys. I've never had a conversation with you guys. So you guys don't really know me, what I'm about. I just put out videos and vlogs and never had an interaction with you guys. So unfortunately, there is a baby crying. I don't know if you can hear that. And also someone cutting down a tree. And this is the only time I have to do this sit down. So forgive me for that. And I also do not have a mic yet. But I'll try, making the sound a bit clearer during my editing, okay? So my name is Wanja. I go by Life as Wanja on socials. I am newly married, faith-driven, fragrance-obsessed. I'm also an entrepreneur and I do create content mostly on TikTok. So I'm sort of figuring life on Instagram and on here, YouTube as well. Just trying to figure out life one intentional day at a time, and this is my first real sit down with you guys. If you see me looking down, I have my points here because I do not want to forget anything. Honestly, nobody prepares you of how much a transition it is, going from being single and being alone to being married and living with someone. And you just don't wake up magically knowing how to be a wife. Neither does he wake up magically knowing how to be a husband. And this is something that you learn every day. The beauty about it is that God gives you the grace to do it, and God teaches you how to do it, especially when your heart is open and willing. You learn the habits, you learn the rhythms, you learn the personalities, and you learn it's the little things that make a house a home. But more than anything, you grow spiritually. And this applies to me because I'm giving you my story. You grow, like this has really grown me spiritually. I feel like my spiritual antennas are more alert now more than when I was single. Like I'm learning that God is revealing to me things in this season that he would not have revealed to me then, and I'm learning how to catch them and how to grab on them and how to apply them to my season, right? And I'm also learning humility and grace. I'm learning patience. I'm learning that love is often choosing peace over a fight. And I'm learning that a wife is really the heart of the home. So I create the atmosphere of my home. Note, we are currently just two, but that is our home. That is our family. And I'm learning that God is refining me gently, but deeply. And I find myself praying more. I find myself being more in the word, being more in his presence, right? And I find myself praying more for wisdom and the grace and the knowledge of, because he's the one who created this thing. So I don't know anything really. So so that's that for now. I don't know if I'll share more. I really don't want this to be a marriage thing, YouTube channel or anything like that. I'm just sharing me, really, yeah. One of the biggest questions I've been asking myself is why now? Why am I creating in this season? And honestly, I think marriage and this whole transition has made everything a bit more clear for me. Note, I have had my content creation journey has been very sporadic. I have started several YouTube channels and then deleted. I have been in a podcast group before and left. So yeah, this is not my first time doing it, but this is my first time doing it more consistently and with a lot of passion and vision, and I know exactly what I need to do and what exactly I want to do with this whole space. And God has really been showing me that there is purpose in my everyday life, and not just in the big achievements, and not just in work, but even in the ordinary things like building a home, building a business, learning love, learning friendships. Like, there is a lot of purpose in how I live out my life and how I live out my faith and how I live out everything that I'm doing. And so that is the biggest reason for me. And I didn't really grow up seeing a lot of creators, and even now I don't see a lot of creators genuinely combine faith and lifestyle, and I have still found it very hard to do it. I keep on calling myself out, like, why don't I share more about my work with Christ? Why don't I share about how I'm living out my faith, what I'm struggling with? I really find myself not sharing a lot about that. I share more on fragrances, on entrepreneurship, and those things. And I found that I haven't seen a lot of creators do that, and mixing faith, lifestyle, entrepreneurship, marriage, and still keeping their femininity and softness at the center and at the core of who they are. So that's what I want my platform to be. I want it to be safe and beautiful for people like me, and people who think like me, and people who live like me. Yeah, so this new season has really changed me, and I think the change started from the beginning of this year. It just became a bit more clearer a couple of months ago. And so everything that I create now is straight from my life, from my faith, from my soft life, from my routines, what marriage life is like, especially when you're still in your 20s, entrepreneurship and the struggles, because I do have a business and I do love my business. I love being an entrepreneurship, the wins, of course, and the L's that I take here and there. And last but not least, my obsession with fragrances, because I am a collector and I love smelling good. I also see my content not just as content anymore, but as a form of ministry. It's not loud and it's not pushy, it's gentle. I want you to see my videos and to be reminded that God is present in every day. In how we work, in how we love, in how we dress, in how we build, in how we make money, in everything, and in every way that we show up as ourselves. So that is why I'm creating in this season. Now that I have shared a little bit of my journey, I want to tell you what you can expect from me and from this channel going forward. Kuna watu wanatoka. I hope you cannot hear that noise, because we're gonna continue. Anyway, the first thing is faith. My relationship with God is the anchor of everything that I am. So you can expect gentle, practical faith content, my devotion routines, things I'm learning from the word and from sermons, how I am growing spiritually, and encouragement with your own faith. That's number one. Number two is lifestyle. From morning routines, home organizations, grocery runs, cooking, creating a peaceful home, and sad stuff, just everyday Kenyan girl, whatever, but with a meaning, right? I want to say marriage, but not really. I don't want to expose or overshare, but I also want to just give you honest reflections and lessons in the new season. And as the seasons transitions, we'll see. My marriage is, I'm not very sure if I want to share that online. Entrepreneurship. That's another big part of my life. So you'll see behind the scenes of me running my business, which is a beauty studio, shameless plug, mistakes that we've made, and how we're learning through that, those mistakes, the wins, the losses, the grace, and how I'm trying to build a soft but successful life as a Kenyan woman, as a Christian woman. Yeah. So that's that, because we're all trying to figure it out. And I guess I could just talk about it, because we need to talk about entrepreneurships in this country. Anyway, and of course, fragrances. This is just my hobby. This is my happy place. Every now and then I'll go and smell my fragrances, and I just love smelling good. Anyway, I'll share my favorite scents, affordable finds that you can find, that you can buy, signature scents for different moods, budgets, layering combinations, how to smell expensive but on a budget. If you love smelling good, then you are right at home, and you have been right at home. So that's what you can expect. Faith, soft living, marriage, entrepreneurship, fragrances, all blended into one beautiful, intentional journey. And I hope that this will be your little corner of the internet, which is warm, gentle, and authentic, and safe, for sure. Yeah, that's what you can expect. My juice is almost over, and that means I'm about to end this video. But before I end this video, I just want to share something that God has been teaching me in this season. It's obedience over perfection. And for a long time, I have stopped myself from creating, because I felt like everything had to be perfect. The setup, the lighting, my confidence, everything had to be perfect. And as you can see, I don't have a mic. I'm using the lights in my house, and this light is glaring, but we are creating, right? And God has been reminding me that He works with willingness, not perfection. I just have to be willing, and I just have to do it, and God will work with that. And that's all I need, by the way. That's all I need. Although I will still buy all these things, but that's all I need. And even in marriage, I'm learning to show up with grace, instead of trying to get things right all the time, and trying to make my husband get things right all the time. To communicate when it feels uncomfortable. Even with God, communicating when it feels uncomfortable. Like, God, hey, I don't feel like doing this. Like, this feels like I'm doing communicating when it feels uncomfortable, and to let myself feel seen and be seen when I feel vulnerable. And with content creation, I'm learning that sometimes the most powerful thing I can do is just start, which I have, and I did. Start with what you have. Start with where you are. Just start. Even when you're scared, just start. Do it afraid. And I want my platform to be a reminder that you don't have to be perfect to be purposeful. That God can use your everyday life, even the quiet, the ordinary parts of your day, to bless someone. That's something that I had been feeling like. I'd been feeling like my vlogs are a bit redundant, because I do have a routine, and I feel like, I'm not doing this. This doesn't feel exciting. But God can use those everyday moments of my life to bless someone. So in this season, God is telling me and is teaching me to trust Him more, and to trust myself, and to allow growth to happen gently. And honestly, I am grateful. I am extremely grateful. So yeah, that's it. That's me. And that's what we're about to be about. And thank you for sticking around. Thank you for watching. And see you on the next one. Yeah, it's been beautiful. It's been good. The neighbors stopped stopped crying, the tree man stopped cutting down the tree, the neighbor stopped making noise. Yeah,